heavy broom scrapes hard against the stone beneath the sign that rattles in the draft. You timed your boots to match the subway tone and pushed the heavy glass before they laughed. You drop your wool gloves right beside the till and shake the autumn dampness from your coat. I save the corner table on the hill before the morning traffic hit its note. We trade the heavy newsprint for a cup of black while bakers slide the iron trays along the rack. Old neighbors pass the window without slowing down and leave us sitting quietly inside the town. Your silver hair catches the amber light that spills across the checkered tablecloth. We talk about the garden in our sight and watch the slow migration of a moth. We trade the heavy newsprint for a cup of black while bakers slide the iron trays along the rack. Old neighbors pass the window without slowing down and leave us sitting quietly inside the town. Decades pass us by like trolley cars at dusk, leaving only memories of paper and of husk. So pour another cup before the shadows grow. There is nowhere else that we should have to go. Bent silver spoon rests beside my porcelain cup, tracing a circle where the steam used to rise. Nobody is rushing me to pack my coat up, watching the gray dust dancing in the blind eyes. Old timber floors remember every worn out soul. A radio hums softly from behind the counter door. Porcelain clicks against the chipped white bowl. Nobody keeps time upon this quiet wooden floor. 2 pages of newsprint left upon the next chair, ink smudging softly in the draft from the street. I count 60 tiles laid out in a quiet square, listening close to the rhythm of my own feet. Old timber floors remember every worn out soul. A radio hums softly from behind the counter door. chipped white bowl. Nobody keeps time upon this quiet wooden floor. The baker waves his flour-dusted hand through the pane. A neighbor tips his cap and passes down the block. I have nowhere I need to hurry through the rain, and I forgot to wind my grandfather's brass clock. I leave the nickel resting by the empty plate, push open the heavy door into the street air. There is no schedule left that I have to wait, just an open afternoon with time enough to stare. The smell of toasted hazelnut drifts out through the door, while Arthur sweeps the sawdust from the checkerboard floor. At 72 he moves with a slow and steady grace, with deep lines of kindness carved into his face. A lady in a yellow coat sits by the glass. She watches all the yellow cabs and commuters pass. She traces round the border of a porcelain cup and wonders how she always ends up waking up. Arthur pours the amber brew into a heavy mug, giving every lonely stranger such a quiet hug. The morning paper rattles as the headlines are unrolled, a story of the neighborhood before the world turns cold. A sleepy boy in tennis shoes delivers rolls of bread. He whistles down the sidewalk where the pigeons are fed. He drops a heavy burlap sack against the wooden frame, and Arthur nods to greet him without speaking out his name. Arthur pours the amber brew into a heavy mug, giving every lonely stranger such a quiet hug. The morning paper rattles as the headlines are unrolled, a story of the neighborhood before the world turns cold. Decades pass like paper bills that flutter in the breeze, beneath the shadow of the ancient maple trees. Yet every single autumn brings this ritual anew of warm tobacco smoke and cups of steaming brew. The clock upon the kitchen wall strikes 8:30, and Arthur turns the heavy latch beside the iron gate. He hangs his stained apron on the rusted iron peg and rests his tired body and his swollen wooden leg. A sudden memory of an old schoolyard bell punctures the quiet before the coffee starts to drip. A clean white apron waiting on a metal hook, while dust motes settle on a porcelain chip. The heavy latch lifts with a familiar groan. A sleepy street still wearing night's gray coat. An iron bell announces nobody at the door yet. The ceiling fan turns lazily through the dry steam. 2 paper napkins sit weighted by a brass spoon, while yesterday's headlines wait folded on the cream. A heavy sack of beans rests by the grinder base. Someone carved initials in the cedar booth. The copper kettle whistles for the very first pour. A quiet habit told without a stitch of truth. Time does not hurry when the floorboards are wide. It measures itself in the drop of the slide. An iron bell announces nobody at the door yet. The ceiling fan turns lazily through the dry steam. 2 paper napkins sit weighted by a brass spoon, while yesterday's headlines wait folded on the cream. The steam settles softly against the front glass. The first passing trolley slows down at the square. Another slow Tuesday begins at last, with nobody waiting in the corner chair. Why did the clock face turn green behind the cracked glass on the wall, where nobody looks at all, except for the girl with the permanent stain on her sleeve? 2 cups are clinking against the zinc before the baker has time to think. Old man Miller counts his folded paper bills, while the steam from porcelain cups fills corners where the radiator knocks and sighs. Underneath the faded awning's dusty dyes. 2 pounds of butter sit cooling in wax, waiting for knives that will carve them in slats of gray linen trousers worn thin at the knee, beside a small copper pot for the tea. Time does not hurry for stale cinnamon rolls, or for the people with heavy porcelain bowls, waiting for pennies to drop in the till up on the corner of 5th and the Hill. She wipes down the customer opens the door and drops a wet glove on the worn wooden floor. The weight of the chair feels heavier now than it did when you carried your doubts, folding your coat on the dark velvet seat, watching the rain puddle up in the street. You wanted the world to forgive all your flaws, working too late under flickering lights. I saved you a seat near the window pane, where the glass gets blurred by the autumn rain. Oh, let us burn down to a stubborn ash while you traded your youth for a pocket of cash. That worry lines deep on your 24 face was a ghost trying hard to outrun its own race. The girl at the counter is humming a tune we used to despise every Tuesday afternoon. You thought every heartbreak would break you to bones. Now look at us walking through overgrown stones. Put down the heavy pack you packed in 1994. Nobody checks your baggage at this corner grocery store. The steam from the mug blurs the mirror ahead. Forgive every reckless word that you said. Drink up the warmth while the morning is clear. We finally made it to 20-some year. Honey tint washes the salt on the tile. You sit with a paperback, turning a page. I watch from behind the espresso machine, where steam rises up like a ghost from the stage. You ordered black coffee and nothing beside, while frost on the glass slowly started to slide. Is that seat taken by someone you know? The traffic outside moves so terribly slow. Pour me a cup of whatever you drink. We have much more in common than first we might think. You pointed a finger at 2 cups of cream and asked if the weather was colder out west. I handed a napkin and answered your smile, confessing that silence is sometimes a test. Strangers in coats can become chapters outside moves so terribly slow. Pour me a cup of whatever you drink. We have much more in common than first we might think. The paper is folded, the chatter is done. We walk out together to meet the pale sun. You said nobody reads the evening paper anymore, while folding corners of page 4 into a hat. The ceiling fan is ticking past a slow-paced 4. A calico is sleeping on the welcome mat. A man in green is counting pennies by the door. His thermos cup is leaking at the copper seam. The wooden floor is bowing slightly near the floor, where spilled espresso dried into a crooked stream. The baker drops a tray of crusty loaves of rye. A neighbor waves his cane to catch the passing tram. A pigeon pecks a crumb beneath the porcelain plate, and time slows down for butter and for blackberry jam. I trace the chipped enamel on the mustard pot and wonder if the rain will hold until midday. The radio is playing songs we have forgot, while strangers read the news and slowly walk away. The apron on the hook begins to gently swing as afternoon arrives to take the place of spring. Wool against my thumb, heavy gray and frayed, seems where winter nights slowly start to fade. Porcelain clinks loud, steam begins to rise. Coffee in the cup, matching old blue skies. Tables made of pine hold 40 years of talk. Dust motes dancing slow down the sidewalk. Radio plays a song we hummed in '59. Sugar cubes dissolve inside the porcelain line. Sitting where you sat before the bridge gave out, traffic starts to stir with a quiet morning shout. Corner table claims patches of the sun, page of yesterday left half undone. Footsteps on the mat remember how to slow. Places that we loved 50 springs ago. Radio plays a song we hummed in '59. Sugar cubes dissolve inside the attic starts to stir with a quiet morning shout. Waitress knows my name, pours another cup, looking at the rain as the blinds go up. Wool still holds the scent of cedar and the pine, drinking down the dregs of 1959. .15 blinks red above the shelf, while the nickel kettle whistles to itself. 30 years have softened every wooden floor since we parked the wagon by the corner store. Silver steam will rise from cups of glazed ceramic blue. Someday we will sit right here and watch the avenue. Gray wool on your shoulders while the weather starts to clear, drinking peppermint and wondering how we got out here. Porcelain spoons click against the heavy mugs. Sweater sleeves are worn thin at the thumbs and lugs. Old photographs rest underneath the counter glass, waiting for the decades to quietly pass. Silver steam will rise from cups of glazed ceramic blue. Someday we will sit right here and watch the avenue. Gray wool on your shoulders while the weather starts to clear, drinking peppermint and wondering how we got out here. Someday our hands will shake when holding out the change. Everything will look so wonderfully strange, looking at the people rushing in the rain. Glad we took the slow boat down this quiet lane. 8:15 will turn to noon before we leave, with our favorite cardigans pinned on the sleeve, walking down the pavement at a very steady pace. Old friends smiling softly in the marketplace. Chipped porcelain rabbit sits near my cup. Its painted left ear has long lost its blue. I watch the pale steam as it climbs upward, wondering if anyone remembers you. Old records spin slow in the back of the room. Footsteps are quiet upon the worn floor. Nobody asks why I sit here alone, waiting for keys to turn in the door. The waitress brings toast on a heavy plate. She sets it right down without any words. Outside the big glass on the pavement below, gather a dozen wet autumn birds. Minutes get heavy when no one is near. I fold up a napkin and flatten the crease. Old records spin slow in the back of the room. Footsteps are quiet upon the warm floor. Nobody asks why I sit here alone, waiting for keys to turn in the door. I pay for the coffee with coins from my coat. The metal is cold and the pocket is torn. I walk to the corner and button the wool against the sharp wind of another dawn born. The rabbit stays put on the Formica top while I cross the street where the shadows grow long, carrying silence inside of my chest, like the final slow note of a half-forgot song. Rough corduroy rubs against the wooden arm. Steam rises slowly from the white ceramic rim. People walk past without a glance at the glass. Minutes keep ticking past the old brass chime. Steps echo outside on the pavement, so gray, while the small radio plays a tune from last May. Pages turn softly near the stack of daily news. Footsteps slow down as the autumn breezes blow. Bitter dark roast in the cup with a crack. Quiet old corner where the sunlight falls back. Paper napkins flutter when the side door swings. A nickel rolls softly from a worn leather purse. Someone is asking for a change of small bills, while the dark counter shines under polished brass light. Time moves much slower when you watch the street, watching the shadows stretch out at your feet. Evening approaches as the lights flicker on, leaving the empty chair waiting till dawn. The aroma of melting butter meets the street, where heavy wool coats shuffle past adjusts his reading glasses and counts out pennies for a porcelain cup. He always takes the corner by the radiator grate, because the morning draft will make his knuckles ache. The waitress knows to pour without a word of grace, and leaves the beaten silver spoon upon his plate. A pocket transistor plays a brassy tune from 1954 or some such faded year. He taps a rhythm with a worn-out leather thumb and watches strangers rush toward the subway stair. He always takes the corner by the radiator grate, because the morning draft will make his knuckles ache. The waitress knows to pour without a word of grace, and leaves the beaten silver spoon upon his plate. The steam begins to thin against the frosted glass as 20 minutes slowly tick away. He folds the daily paper to the crossword page and leaves the world outside to hurry on its way. He slides his tip beneath the heavy saucer rim and pushes back the chair with steady care. The nickel stays behind upon the checker cloth, while winter air receives him on the open street. Heavy broom scrapes hard against the stone beneath the sign that rattles in the draft. You timed your boots to match the subway tone and pushed the heavy glass before they laughed. You drop your wool gloves right beside the till and shake the autumn dampness from your coat. I save the corner table on the hill before the morning traffic hit its note. We trade the heavy newsprint for a cup of black, while bakers slide the iron trays along the rack. Old neighbors pass the window without slowing down and leave us sitting quietly inside the town. Your silver hair catches the amber light that spills across the checkered tablecloth. We talk about the garden in our sight and watch the slow migration of a moth. We trade the heavy newsprint for a cup of black, while bakers slide the iron tray So pour another cup before the shadows grow. There is nowhere else that we should have to go. Bent silver spoon rests beside my porcelain cup, tracing a circle where the steam used to rise. Nobody is rushing me to pack my coat up, watching the gray dust dancing in the blind eyes. Old timber floors remember every worn out soul. A radio hums softly from behind the counter door. Porcelain clicks against the chipped white bowl. Nobody keeps time upon this quiet wooden floor. 2 pages of newsprint left upon the next chair, ink smudging softly in the draft from the street. I count 60 tiles laid out in a quiet square, listening close to the rhythm of my own feet. Old timber floors remember every worn out soul. A radio hums softly from behind the counter door. Porcelain clicks against the chipped white bowl. Nobody keeps time upon this quiet wooden floor. The baker waves his flour-dusted hand through the pane. A neighbor tips his cap and passes down the block. I have nowhere I need to hurry through the rain, and I forgot to wind my grandfather's brass clock. I leave the nickel resting by the empty plate, push open the heavy door into the street air. There is no schedule left that I have to wait, just an open afternoon with time enough to stare. The smell of toasted hazelnut drifts out through the door, while Arthur sweeps the sawdust from the checkerboard floor. At 72 he moves with a slow and steady grace, with deep lines of kindness carved into his face. A lady in a yellow coat sits by the glass. She watches all the yellow cabs and commuters pass. She traces around the border of a porcelain cup and wonders how she always ends up waking up. Arthur pours the amber brew into a heavy mug, giving every before the world turns cold. A sleepy boy in tennis shoes delivers rolls of bread. He whistles down the sidewalk where the pigeons are fed. He drops a heavy burlap sack against the wooden frame, and Arthur nods to greet him without speaking out his name. Arthur pours the amber brew into a heavy mug, giving every lonely stranger such a quiet hug. The morning paper rattles as the headlines are unrolled, a story of the neighborhood before the world turns cold. Decades pass like paper bills that flutter in the breeze, beneath the shadow of the ancient maple trees. Yet every single autumn brings this ritual anew of warm tobacco smoke and cups of steaming brew. The clock upon the kitchen wall strikes 8:30, and Arthur turns the heavy latch beside the iron gate. He hangs his stained apron on the rusted iron peg and rests his tired body and his swollen wooden leg. A sudden memory of an old schoolyard bell punctures the quiet before the coffee starts to drip. A clean white apron waiting on a metal hook, while dust motes settle on a porcelain chip. The heavy latch lifts with a familiar groan, a sleepy street still wearing night's gray coat. An iron bell announces nobody at the door yet. The ceiling fan turns lazily through the dry steam. 2 paper napkins sit weighted by a brass spoon, while yesterday's headlines wait folded on the cream. A heavy sack of beans rests by the grinder base. Someone carved initials in the cedar booth. The copper kettle whistles for the very first pour, a quiet habit told without a stitch of truth. Time does not hurry when the floorboards are wide. It measures itself in the drop of the slide. An iron bell announces nobody at the door yet. The ceiling fan turns lazily through the dry steam. 2 paper napkins sit weighted by a brass spoon, while yesterday's headlines wait folded on the cream. The steam settles softly against the front glass. The first passing trolley slows down at the square. Another slow Tuesday begins at last, with nobody waiting in the corner chair. Why did the clock face turn green behind the cracked glass on the wall, where nobody looks at all except for the girl with the permanent stain on her sleeve? Two cups are clinking against the zinc before the baker has time to think. Old man Miller counts his folded paper bills while the steam from porcelain cups fills corners where the radiator knocks and sighs underneath the faded awning's dusty dyes. 2 pounds of butter sit cooling in wax, waiting for knives that will carve them in slats of gray linen trousers worn thin at the knee, beside a small copper pot for the tea. Time does not hurry for stale cinnamon rolls, or for the people with heavy porcelain bowls, waiting for pennies to drop in the till up on the corner of 5th and the Hill. She wipes down the counter with yellow twine and turns the dead sign to read 49 before the first customer opens the door and drops a wet glove on the worn wooden floor. The weight of the chair feels heavier now than it did when you carried your doubts, folding your coat on the dark velvet seat, watching the rain puddle up in the street. You wanted the world to forgive all your flaws, working too late under flickering lights. I saved you a seat near the window pane, where the glass gets blurred by the autumn rain. Oh, let us burn down to a stubborn ash while you traded your youth for a pocket of cash. That worry lines deep on your 24 face was a ghost trying hard to outrun its own race. The girl at the counter is humming a tune we used to despise every Tuesday afternoon. You thought every heartbreak would break you to bones. Now look at us walking through overgrown stones. Put down the heavy pack you packed in 1994. Nobody checks your baggage at this corner grocery store. The steam from the mug blurs the mirror ahead. Forgive as the salt on the tile. You sit with a paperback, turning a page. I watch from behind the espresso machine, where steam rises up like a ghost from the stage. You ordered black coffee and nothing beside, while frost on the glass slowly started to slide. Is that seat taken by someone you know? The traffic outside moves so terribly slow. Pour me a cup of whatever you drink. We have much more in common than first we might think. You pointed a finger at 2 cups of cream and asked if the weather was colder out west. I handed a napkin and answered your smile, confessing that silence is sometimes a test. Strangers in coats can become chapters read before the blue morning turns into noon red. Is that seat taken by someone you know? The traffic outside moves so terribly slow. Pour me a cup of whatever you drink. We have much more in common than first we might think. The paper is folded, the chatter is done. We walk out together to meet the pale sun. You said nobody reads the evening paper anymore, while folding corners of page 4 into a hat. The ceiling fan is ticking past a slow-paced 4. A calico is sleeping on the welcome mat. A man in green is counting pennies by the door. His thermos cup is leaking at the copper seam. The wooden floor is bowing slightly near the floor, where spilled espresso dried into a crooked stream. The baker drops a tray of crusty loaves of rye. A neighbor waves his cane to catch the passing tram. A pigeon pecks a crumb beneath the porcelain plate, and time slows down for butter and for blackberry jam. I trace the chipped enamel on the mustard pot and wonder if the rain will hold until midday. The radio is playing songs we have forgot, while strangers read the news and slowly walk away. The apron on the hook begins to gently swing as afternoon arrives to take the place of spring. against my thumb, heavy gray and frayed, seems where winter nights slowly start to fade. Porcelain clinks loud, steam begins to rise, coffee in the cup matching old blue skies. Tables made of pine hold 40 years of talk, dust motes dancing slow down the sidewalk. Radio plays a song we hummed in '59. Sugar cubes dissolve inside the porcelain line. Sitting where you sat before the bridge gave out, traffic starts to stir with a quiet morning shout. Corner table claims patches of the sun, page of yesterday left half undone. Footsteps on the mat remember how to slow, places that we loved 50 springs ago. Radio plays a song we hummed in '59. Sugar cubes dissolve inside the porcelain line. Sitting where you sat before the bridge gave out, traffic starts to stir with a quiet morning shout. Waitress knows my name, pours another cup, looking at the rain as the blinds go up. Wool still holds the scent of cedar and the pine, drinking down the dregs of 1959. .15 blinks red above the shelf, while the nickel kettle whistles to itself. 30 years have softened every wooden floor since we parked the wagon by the corner store. Silver steam will rise from cups of glazed ceramic blue. Someday we will sit right here and watch the avenue. Gray wool on your shoulders while the weather starts to clear, drinking peppermint and wondering how we got out here. Porcelain spoons click against the heavy mugs, sweater sleeves are worn thin at the thumbs and lugs. Old photographs rest underneath the counter glass, waiting for the decades to quietly pass. Silver steam will rise from cups of glazed ceramic blue. Someday we will sit right here and watch the avenue. Gray wool on your shoulders while the weather starts to clear, drinking peppermint and wondering how we got out here. Someday our hands will shake when holding out the change. Everything will look so wonderfully strange, looking the people rushing in the rain. Glad we took the slow boat down this quiet lane. 8:15 will turn to noon before we leave, with our favorite cardigans pinned on the sleeve. Walking down the pavement at a very steady pace, old friends smiling softly in the marketplace. Chipped porcelain rabbit sits near my cup. Its painted left ear has long lost its blue. I watch the pale steam as it climbs upward, wondering if anyone remembers you. Old records spin slow in the back of the room. Footsteps are quiet upon the worn floor. Nobody asks why I sit here alone, waiting for keys to turn in the door. The waitress brings toast on a heavy plate. She sets it right down without any words. Outside the big glass on the pavement below, gather a dozen wet autumn birds. Minutes get heavy when no one is near. I fold up a napkin and flatten the crease. Old records spin slow in the back of the room. Footsteps are quiet upon the worn floor. Nobody asks why I sit here alone, waiting for keys to turn in the door. I pay for the coffee with coins from my coat. The metal is cold and the pocket is torn. I walk to the corner and button the wool against the sharp wind of another dawn born. The rabbit stays put on the formica top while I cross the street where the shadows grow long, carrying silence inside of my chest, like the final slow note of a half-forgot song. Rough corduroy rubs against the wooden arm. Steam rises slowly from the white ceramic rim. People walk past without a glance at the glass. Minutes keep ticking past the old brass chime. Steps echo outside on the pavement, so gray, while the small radio plays a tune from last May. Pages turn watches as the lights flicker on, leaving the empty chair waiting till dawn. The aroma of melting butter meets the street, where heavy wool coats shuffle past the pane. An older man adjusts his reading glasses and counts out pennies for a porcelain cup. He always takes the corner by the radiator grate, because the morning draft will make his knuckles ache. The waitress knows to pour without a word of grace, and leaves the beaten silver spoon upon his plate. A pocket transistor plays a brassy tune from 1954 or some such faded year. He taps a rhythm with a worn-out leather thumb and watches strangers rush toward the subway stair. He always takes the corner by the radiator grate, because the morning draft will make his knuckles ache. The waitress knows to pour without a word of grace, and leaves the beaten silver spoon upon his plate. The steam begins to thin against the frosted glass as 20 minutes slowly tick away. He folds the daily paper to the crossword page and leaves the world outside to hurry on its way. He slides his tip beneath the heavy saucer rim and pushes back the chair with steady care. The nickel stays behind upon the checker cloth, while winter air receives him on the open street.